What's up guys, Dale here, back again with another Dragon Ball Super episode, and today I'm talking about episode 103. And this episode is pretty straightforward, so I'm not going to talk too much about what happens. I'm just going to, gloss over everything, and there's some points where I want to talk about, but I'll get to that in a minute. So first of all, we start with where we left off in the last episode. What's her name again? Bribrianne getting angry at Android 17, and I really enjoyed the part where she calls 17 evil, and he's like, so I'm evil, okay. And he starts playing along with it like some kind of show. And to me, I thought that side of him was gone after he, after Super. I thought he kind of matured past his like kind of playfulness that he had back in Dragon Ball Z. Because in Dragon Ball Z he was a very playful person. When they, when they were torturing, well, not torturing, when they were terrorizing cities, he used to play around with the humans. There was time, I think there was a time he had a gun and he was pretending like he was a cowboy, or he stole a car and he was joyriding through the city. So he has this kind of playfulness to himself that he kind of brought back again, which is fun to see. And yeah, I really enjoyed the animation in this part of the episode as well. I think there's something about Dragon Ball Super where two halves of the episode are not completely different from each other, but they actually do vary in the way they're told, or the pacing of the action and everything. Even the animation changes in this episode. But for the first half of the episode, I really like the more structured style of the faces and all that stuff. And especially when 17 is fighting Ribrianne, and then Goku's head kind of pops up they're fighting in the background, and Goku's head kind of pops up, and then he introduces his fight with Rosie, which I thought was pretty cool. And in that fight, we see more of Rosie's technique about her being able to manipulate all the key blasts that she's throwing at Goku. And I mean, it doesn't really seem like a threat to Goku because he's just dodging it anyway. And then eventually he learns, he studies her technique well enough to actually, I think, replicate himself. I'm not too sure. He creates these bigger 4 balls of energy that he just places around her where she's trapped, and he kind of blasts her away. And this was the point where I thought they were over. I thought Rosie and Ribrianne are gone. But one of the Supreme Kai of Universe 2 did tell the God of Destruction that every princess needs a knight or something like that. And so the Yajrat, who I thought was knocked out by Cauliflower, but it was confirmed last episode that he didn't actually get knocked out. He came and rescued them, and at this point I was like, do we really need to save these guys? I think we've seen their gimmick, we've seen their transformation, Rosie and Ribrianne, and I think that's it. I don't think we need to see them again. So that part was really are we gonna get another episode full of them? And I found them funny the first time, but I'm not too sure what they can do with them unless Ribrianne has something else to her other than what she's shown already. Then I'm not sure as to why they would be saved here. I would have thought that Goku and Android 17 would have just knocked them out completely. But anyway, Goku's lounging around again, and we get Beerus, who's the voice of all reason, who's pretty much, I would say, us watching the episode, who's just saying, what the hell is Goku doing? He's just messing around and not paying attention to anything. And so then Champa comes in. Champa comes in. I didn't know Champa and Beerus' names like champagne and beer. I didn't know that. But anyway, Champa says, why are you worried about Goku? You should be worried about the other universe fighters. And obviously this is the point where they transition over to Gohan and Piccolo, who are faced by 2 Universe 10 fighters who are actually the last 2 fighters left in the tournament. So at this point I thought this is going to be a part where Gohan's going to be very conflicted with knocking someone out and erasing an entire universe. But, we'll get to that in a moment. But before that, we get Gohan versus Bultama from Universe 6. Obviously, we've seen his ability before. He can't get hurt by anything, which is crazy. And doesn't run out of stamina, I think. That's very crazy. I did like the part where Goku jumps in and watches over the fight. Piccolo's watching over Gohan, and then Goku comes in and they have this conversation about, what do they think? Piccolo asks Gohan what he thinks about. Piccolo asks Goku what he thinks about Gohan in the fight, and Goku just says, he's gonna be fine. I told him about Bultama, so he's smart enough to know that what to do with him. So I really like that moment where the 2 father figures in Gohan's life are just assessing him and watching over his progress as a fighter. Well, he kind of regressed and then he kind of came back again. So, and then that was just a nice little moment. And we all knew Gohan was going to do something. But I didn't know what he was actually going to do because he was just punching him, but the technique seemed to work. He punched him, lifted off the ground, and just blasted him out with the Kamehameha, which looked really good. The animation in this half of the episode, I forgot the guy, I think it's Tate, that he's the animation supervisor for this side of the episode, or the animator. I don't know which one, but you know, he's like the main guy behind this side of the episode, because you can see it in his style. It's very fluid motion. There's a lot of like blurred lines when people are fighting each other, and the way people's bodies move are very exaggerated to kind of show a heightened sense of motion when they're moving around, which is pretty cool to see in this side of the episode. Only thing I have against this style is that the characters don't look like they usually do. That's I don't know, because a lot of people love his style, but for me, I like in the first half of the episode where, you know, the faces are more structured and there's harsher lines, but in the second half of the episode, everything's more kind of fluid and rounded. It's kind of a mixed match with me, because I don't like seeing two completely different styles in the same episode. So I don't know what could happen there, but anyway, I did still like it, but I just think Dragon Ball Super needs some kind of continuity in the way, at least some better continuity, because there's a lot of times where you see completely different styles from scene to scene, and it kind of like takes you out the episode, for me personally anyway. So after Gohan knocks out Botamo, we get the fight between Gohan and Obuni, and Piccolo and Rubolt from Universe 10. Both of those fighters from Universe 10, and they are the last two. So at this point, I was thinking Gohan's going to be really conflicted in, you know, knocking these two out and technically erasing their universe by his hand. So we see Gohan struggling with this guy because he can separate his ki from his body into like many different places to kind of distract people from knowing where exactly he is. So, you know, Gohan's whole thing was to like sense his enemy's presence and be able to counterattack accordingly. But Gohan can't do that because it's scattered everywhere, which I thought was a pretty cool ability for us fighter. I think he is the strongest fighter in Universe 10, and they were all relying on him. And even Gowasu, before that point, he was just like, yep, we're gone, we're done. And then when he came through, Obini came through, he was like, oh, you know what, we might have a chance now. Let's believe in this guy. So that was a pretty cool fight. And then we switch over to Piccolo versus Rubolt. And I really enjoyed this part because there was that one fighter from the Pride Troopers who kind of used a pseudo Hellzone grenade against Cauliflower, which I was like, no, you can't just take Piccolo's move and do that like that. So Piccolo needed his own moment to do it, and I think Piccolo's one was cooler because he allowed the guy to beat him up, I think anyway, to kind of like lead him into where he wants him to go, to think he's in the pole position. Similar thing to what 17 did with Kakunsa last episode, to make them think that they're in, you know, they're the ones who are in control of the situation, and then suddenly flip the switch on them. But, you know, he fired all these blasts. He did the same thing with 17 when 17 thought, you know, you're missing me, you're not really hitting me, I don't know what this desperation attempt is. But anyway, we get all the blasts around the guy, and then Piccolo just crushes him with the Hellzone grenade. And I think this is the first time we see an enemy get knocked out on the stage. So at this point, I thought, okay, what's going to happen? Is he just going to get teleported from where he is because he's knocked out? But no, he gets knocked out, and then Piccolo picks him up and then blasts him straight out the ring. So that was one guy down, and it moves back to Gohan versus Obuni. And then Gohan eventually figures out, oh, before that, he turns he turns into his ultimate Gohan form, where, you know, you can see his hair coming down and stuff. But to me, that says that he has another kind of form, or he has some more power saved up, because the way he transformed was really, like, they didn't make it like a monumental moment like how he did back again when he fought Goku, when they were training. It was just kind of like, it was like a regular Super Saiyan transformation now in this series. And that shows to me that he actually has more under his sleeve. So that's going to be pretty cool to see later on. But anyway, Gohan figures out how to beat Obuni by letting him strike him and then, you know, counterattacking accordingly, which is the best way to fight against this guy. And yeah, the guy eventually tires out and he can't use his ability anymore. So then Gohan just moves in for the kill and hits him with the glorious looking Kamehameha that just blasts him straight out the ring. I thought the animation this side was different from the first half, as I said before, but it was still like a very visceral kind of, very cool looking style that I do enjoy. I just wish that, you know, there was more continuity between the way the characters actually look whilst they're doing this stuff. I want to keep the animation, I want to keep the blurs, I want to keep the exaggerated motions, but like the structure of the faces, you know how they got the thick lines and everything, but now it was all thin and everything. I kind of want like a blend between two. So yeah, so at this moment we get, you know, the Universe 10 gets erased and we have Gohan looking down. I really like this shot though of I really like the way Gohan was drawn in this shot actually, because it really shows the kind of sadness in his face, just looking down at the pendant of Obony that he left behind that has a picture of his family. I really like the way he was pictured here. Actually, probably going to be the thumbnail of this video actually. It was very, you know, you can really feel that he's very conflicted and he feels sorry for what he's just done, but you can't do anything about it. It's either eat or be eaten in this survival tournament. But for me, I personally thought that Gohan would be more conflicted. Like he would be conflicted to even knock the guy out the ring, and it would cause him to get it would cause him to kind of almost not win the fight. But he just knocked him out, and then afterwards he started feeling sorry for what he's just done. But Piccolo calls him over, and you know, he kind of just like grips his fist, and you know, he just kind of moves on, which I think is very new from Gohan actually. I think there's some kind of character development going on here, because I think before he would have struggled to even continue after this, but he's very solidified in what he has to do right now, which is probably what Piccolo's training was all about back before the tournament started. And so, you know, that's really the end of the episode. Universe 10 gets destroyed, and now we move on to the preview, and obviously we've seen, as everybody probably knows by now, because I even got spoiled for it like a few days ago, Super Saiyan God Goku is coming back, which is new for the anime, but it's not new for the manga. If you read the manga, you know that Vegeta goes Super Saiyan God back against Goku Black. But I think in this episode, Goku's going to use Red as a form to gain more speed, because they're going up against Dispo, who they're calling the Light Speed Warrior. And also, it looks like Dispo is giving Hit a very hard time, because obviously if he can move at light speed, then Hit's time slowdown ability isn't going to work all too well, because you know how, you know, light is the fastest traveling thing that we know to man. So, you know, if someone travels at the speed of light but Hit tries to stop it, he can still probably move through his time stop. Well, he doesn't stop time, he slows it down incredibly slow, but you know, if you're moving that fast, it's not really going to help out really. So I'm excited to see Super Saiyan God back. I want to see the kind of abilities he has, because it seems like he's using his fiery red aura for something, because it looks like Dispo's about to strike Goku, but like he's got like a pillar of energy just blasting out from him. So that's going to be pretty cool to see. And it's also going to be pretty cool to see what Hit does about the situation, if he has any new abilities that he's going to introduce. And yeah, it's going to be an exciting episode. I did show a shot of Jiren, so I don't know if Jiren's going to be observing this fight just to see how strong Goku is. And I don't know what kind of toll this Super Saiyan God form is going to take on Goku. And it seems increasingly impossible to see Goku defeat Hit at this point, because Goku's just using so much energy fighting everybody else that by the time he gets to him, 100% Jiren, I don't know. So yeah, tell me what you think about this episode in the comment section below. I enjoyed this episode. I thought it was a great episode. You know, Super just carries on to bring out great episodes every week. And I'm looking forward to next week and the many weeks to come. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.